towering genius disdains a beaten path. It seeks regions hitherto unexplored. Don't interfere with anything in the Constitution. That must be maintained, for it is the only safeguard of our liberties. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. All the armies of Europe, Asia and Africa combined, with all the treasure of the earth, our own excepted, in their military chest, with a Bonaparte for a commander, could not by force take a drink from the Ohio, or make a track on the Blue Ridge, in a trial of 1,000 years. I care not much for a man's religion whose dog and cat are not the better for it. Let not him who is houseless pull down the house of another, but let him work diligently and build one for himself, thus by example assuring that his own shall be safe from violence when built. The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. When I am getting ready to reason with a man, I spend 1/3 of my time thinking about myself and what I am going to say, and 2/3 about him and what he is going to say. If you think you can slander a woman into loving you, or a man into voting for you, try it till you are satisfied. I know that the Lord is always on the side of the right, but it is my constant anxiety and prayer that I and this nation may be on the Lord's side. Stand with anybody that stands right, stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. We think the Dred Scott decision is erroneous. We know the court that made it has often overruled its own decisions, and we shall do what we can to have it overrule this. I am humble Abraham Lincoln. I have been solicited by my friends to become a candidate for the legislature. My politics are short and sweet, like the old woman's dance. True patriotism is better than the wrong kind of piety. The way for a young man to rise is to improve himself in every way he can, never suspecting that anybody wishes to hinder him. If I were two-faced, would I be wearing this one? Fellow citizens, we cannot escape history. We, of this Congress and this administration, will be remembered in spite of ourselves. No personal significance, or insignificance, can spare one or another of us. The fiery trial through which we pass will light us down in honor or dishonor, to the latest generation. If once you forfeit the confidence of your fellow citizens, you can never regain their respect and esteem. The assertion that all men are created equal was of no practical use in effecting our separation from Great Britain, and it was placed in the Declaration not for that, but for future use. A man watches his pear tree day after day, impatient for the ripening of the fruit. Let him attempt to force the process, and he may spoil both fruit and tree. But let him patiently wait, and the ripe pear at length falls into his lap. We here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. When you have got an elephant by the hind legs and he is trying to run away, it's best to let him run. Surely God would not have created such a being as man, with an ability to grasp the infinite, to exist only for a day. No, no, man was made for immortality. Any people anywhere, being inclined and having the power, have the right to rise up, and shake off the existing government, and form a new one that suits them better. This is a most valuable, a most sacred right, a right, which we hope and believe, is to liberate the world. What kills a skunk is the publicity it gives itself. Ballots are the rightful and peaceful successors to bullets. There is no grievance that is a fit object of redress by mob law. These men ask for just the same thing, fairness, and fairness only. This, so far as in my power, they, and all others, shall have. I don't know who my grandfather was, I am much more concerned to know what his grandson will be. My paramount object in this struggle is to save the Union, and is not either to save or to destroy slavery. If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it, and if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that. I never had a policy, I have just tried to do my very best each and every day. I was born and have ever remained in the most humble walks of life. Everyone desires to live long, but no one would be old. He who molds the public sentiment, makes statutes and decisions possible or impossible to make. Tact is the ability to describe others as they see themselves. In this sad world of ours, sorrow comes to all, and to the young, it comes with bitterest agony because it takes them unawares. I have had experience enough to know what I say. Common-looking people are the best in the world, that is the reason the Lord makes so many of them. Never regret what you don't write. The leading rule for the lawyer, as for the man of every calling, is diligence. With the fearful strain that is on me night and day, if I did not laugh I should die. Gold is good in its place, but loving, brave, patriotic men are better than gold. In giving freedom to the slave, we assure freedom to the free, honorable alike in that we give and what we preserve. We shall nobly save, or meanly lose, the last best hope of earth. I can make more generals, but horses cost money. Hold on with a bulldog grip, and chew and choke as much as possible. I am rather inclined to silence. Standing as I do, with my hand upon this staff, and under the folds of the American flag, I ask you to stand by me so long as I stand by it. When I hear a man preach, I like to see him act as if he were fighting bees. As our case is new, we must think and act anew. With public sentiment, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. Some single mind must be master, else there will be no agreement in anything. Slavery is founded in the selfishness of man's nature, opposition to it is his love of justice. These principles are an eternal antagonism, and when brought into collision so fiercely, as slavery extension brings them, shocks and throes and convulsions must ceaselessly follow. If there is anything that a man can do well, I say let him do it. Give him a chance. The highest art is always the most religious, and the greatest artist is always a devout person. If the great American people will only keep their temper, on both sides of the line, the troubles will come to an end, and the question which now distracts the country will be settled just as surely as all other difficulties of like character which have originated in this government have been adjusted. These capitalists generally act harmoniously and in concert to fleece the people, and now that they have got into a quarrel with themselves, we are called upon to appropriate the people's money to settle the quarrel. I hope to stand firm enough to not go backward, and yet not go forward fast enough to wreck the country's cause. My father removed from Kentucky to Indiana, in my 8th year. It was a wild region, with many bears and other wild animals still in the woods. There I grew up. Of course when I came of age, I did not know much. Still somehow, I could read, write, and cipher. But that was all. I have great respect for the semicolon, it is a mighty handy little fellow. The time comes upon every public man when it is best for him to keep his lips closed. Fourscore and 7 years ago our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.